Hey, what's up everybody? Today's video is going to be a book haul video, and I'm really excited because I haven't done one of these in a very long time. The last book haul video that I did was back in September, so you can imagine from September until now I have accumulated so many books. So from what I counted about 27 books, so yeah, that's a lot. And so I'm not going to go into so much details with each of the book, and so let's get to it. First couple books I actually bought when I was down in Florida, when I was at the Disney parks. They are sort of Disney related, well, a couple of them are. So the first two books I got at a random Disney store, and I thought they were pretty cool because they tell a different type of story from a classic story. So what I'm talking about is, the first book is Fairest of All, which is a tale of the Wicked Queen from the Snow White story. And The Beast Within, which is a tale of Beauty's Prince from Beauty and the Beast. And this is, I guess, their stories from the villain side of the story. You get the villain side of the story. And they're both by, they don't have it on the cover here, Serena Valentino. And these were the only two books that I saw, so I don't know if there's any more of them. I'm going to have to go check. And what's cool about these books also, they are, if you take off the dust jacket, you have the Beast. Take it off, you get the Prince. And with the Evil Queen, you get the Ugly Woman. These next three books I got at the Epcot theme park, you know, where the big globe is. And there they have like a, it was really cool because what they had there was called a World Showcase, where you could actually visit places from different countries. Like they had France, Italy, China, all that. And these books I got from Norway, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to check them out. These are kind of fairy tale stories, so it'd be nice to kind of read some fairy tales from other different countries, what they're being told. Well, the first one I got, Scandinavian Ghost Stories. And this is edited by Joanne Asala. Oh, and it says Other Tales of the Supernatural. I got Norwegian's Troll Tales, retold by Joanne Asala, including illustrations by Theodore Kittelsen. And last is Weird Tales from Northern Seas. These are Norwegian Legends by Jonas Lai, I guess. So, like I said, I thought these would be kind of interesting to read and see what stories that other countries are telling, what other fairy tales are being told. The last two books are pretty much classic stories. I got Mary Poppins by P.L. Travelers. I got this at the United Kingdom area, and because I wanted to buy this, I had never read the book before. I've always seen the movie so many times, and I really love the cover of this classic fairy tale. They also had Mary Poppins Comes Back. I did not know there was a sequel to one, and I did not know this was a series. I kind of looked it up a little bit. So I got these two. They didn't have any more. These were the only two that were there. And funny story, after I bought those Mary Poppins books, I went out of the building and I said to my friends, I was with my friends, and I said it'll be really cool if I met Mary Poppins. And not a second later, I see a little white bonnet over a bush, and I'm like, Mary Poppins, we have to go meet her, we have to go meet her. So we took a picture with Mary Poppins, and not only did I get a picture with her, but I asked her very nicely, could you sign it? So it says, for always, Mary Poppins. So that was my autograph signature. And it just made my day. And if you want proof, here's a picture of it right here. So those were the books that I got from Florida, the only books that I got. And then in October, I totally forgot that I pre-ordered a couple of books. So these next few books I got from pre-ordered in the month of October. So the first book is The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss, illustrated by Nate Taylor. This is a short story from the King Killer's Chronicles, now that I'm thinking more of it. This is a short story of one of the characters from that series. And I received a signed copy of it. Really like the inside here. It's pretty cool. So there's the signature I got. So that's the second book I got from his that I got an autograph. Next book I got is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rush. This is her, ow. Oh my god. The next book I got is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rush. This is a first book of the Snow Like Ashes series. I think that's what the series is called. I was really anticipated for this last year. Once I saw the cover of this, I was like, I gotta have it. And the story was really interesting. I already read this, and I just love the introductory to this world. And I can't wait for the second book to come out this fall. Cover of it looks really, really good as well. Next book I got is Clariel by Garth Nix. I heard a lot about his work. I never read any of his work, but this is a prequel to the whole Sabriel series. I think that's what the series is called. So I think I'm gonna read this first before I read his other series. I don't think it really matters, but I just heard a lot of good things about this book and can't wait to read. And then I got The Fragile World by Paula Tracey-Ford. This is a second novel that she did. I read her debut novel, which is called The Morning Hours, and I did a review on that, so I'll leave a link to that if you guys are interested and want to kind of, check it out. This is again a kind of family drama. They're kind of the same as The Morning Hours, but in a... There's something in my hair. Okay, start that once again. Book, like I said, it's a family type drama book. This is about a kind of normal family who ends up kind of going through a tragedy because one of the children, the son was involved in a freak accident. What this book is just what the family goes through during that dark time after that accident. And I thought this was like from one person's perspective, but it looks like it's from all of the family's perspective. And now to the big pile. So now are to the other books that I bought after October. So I know I said October a lot, but this is after October. So the first two are from the same series. So I got The Strangle Queen by Maurice Druon and The Royal Succession by the same author. These are 2 and 4 of the Accursed Kings. I think that's what it's called. And these are just to kind of fill in the books I didn't buy. Cursed Kings series. And these are just to fill in the books that I forgot to buy, I guess. Because I got the first and the third book. And I bought these. I want to kind of get into this because from what George R.R. Martin says, the blurb up here, it says this is the original Game of Thrones. And me being a fan of Game of Thrones, I really, really love Game of Thrones. Next book I got is Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harness. This is book 1 of the All Souls trilogy. This is a kind of a series I want to get into because I hear so many good things about this series, about this book. And it basically, of course, has witches, I guess, and demons and other supernatural stuff like that. And I haven't been into one of those supernatural books in a while, so... But, like I said, a lot of good things from this book, and I just really love the cover of it. And I think that the third book just recently came out, so... I think we'll see how the first book goes. Next up is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is another, well, I kind of really want to get into his stuff as well. I hear a lot of good things about what he writes. He's a fantasy author. And I hear a lot of good things about this book as well. Next up, I got The Mortal Heart by Robin Lefevers. This is the third book of his Fair Assassins. I think this is the final book. And I have not started this series yet. I think each of these books are kind of companion novels because each tell a different story from different characters. Next book I got is The Peripheral by William Gibson. I'm trying not to get a glare on this book. But anyway, I think I'm going to go blind on this book. I really don't know too much about it. Otherwise, other than that it's kind of like a sci-fi book. And also kind of what you call a cyberpunk. You know how you get steampunk, but this is cyberpunk. There's a little difference there. I'll tell you what this book is about from the inside cover. Flynn Fisher lives down on a country road in a rural near-future America where jobs are scarce unless you count illegal drug manufacture, which she's trying to avoid. Her brother Burton lives or tries to on money from the Veterans Administration for neurological damage suffered in the Marines' elite haptic recon unit. Flynn earns what she can by assembling product at the local 3D print shop. She made more as a combat scout in an online game playing for a rich man, but she's had to let the shooter games go. Wilf Netherton lives in London, 70-some years later, on the far side of decades of slow-motion apocalypse. Things are pretty good now, for the haves, and there aren't many have-nots left. Wilf, a high-powered publicist and celebrity minder, fancies himself a romantic misfit in a society where reaching into the past is just another hobby. Burton's much moonlighting online, secretly working security in some game prototype, a virtual world that looks vaguely like London, but a lot weirder. He's got Flynn taking over shifts, promised her the game's not a shooter, still the game she witnesses there is plenty bad. Flynn and Wilf are about to meet one another. Her world will be altered utterly, and Wilf's, for all its decadence and power, will learn that some of these third world types from the past can be badass. Okay, so I think it's time for me to kind of look into game type books. So, next book I got is Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes. This is also a third book of the Fallen Kingdom series. And I just recently read the first book, which is pretty good. So I'll get into this pretty soon. Next up is Dreamer's Pool by Juliet Marillier. I don't know. Sorry if I can't pronounce the name. This is the first book of the Blackthorn and Grid novel. This is another author I kind of want to get into. I heard a lot of good things about her. It is a fantasy novel. If you heard the books Daughters of the Forest, I think, something like that, that's the same author, and so, like I said, I want to just get into her, and don't know too much about this book as well. So again, going blind on a book. This next book I really wanted for such a long time, and that's The Mime Order, or The Mim Order, whatever you want to call it, by Samantha Shannon. This is the second book of the Bone Season. Bone Season is pretty much my favorite book ever. But anyway, this is kind of take place after what happens in the Bone Season, so I can't really say too much because it is a sequel, and I just can't wait to read it. Next I have Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book of the Reckoners series. I do not like the cover change to this, to the first book. First book I got the hardcover in, but it's a different cover. I read the first book. First book was really good, and I can't wait. I have not read this second book yet, and I can't say really too much about it. And I'm sure this is the aftermath of what happened to Steelheart. I gotta read more Brandon Sanderson books. Steelheart was the only Brandon Sanderson book I ever read, but I gotta get more into it. Next up is a huge book I got, and it's called The Falcon Throne by Karen Miller. When I make a huge book, that's a huge book. This is a new epic fantasy series. Kind of has that Game of Thrones type, I guess. It says, when kingdoms clash, every crown will be tarnished by the bloody price of ambition. I feel like it's going to be good because this cover's really good. See all the blood in that, and yeah, you probably don't want to see that if you're queasy of blood. These next two books are Game of Thrones type. I know, I like Game of Thrones, and I just love to talk about it. So, what I have here is the inside or inside look of HBO's Game of Thrones. This is kind of a behind the scenes of the seasons 3 and 4 look. So I'll give you pictures. That this is where Daenerys goes to Astapor, I think. And just a lot of, like I said, behind the scenes. You got Mance Rayder there. And a lot of nice background stories of each of the new characters that come into the show. So, really, really love that. And then another Game of Thrones type is The World of Ice and Fire. This is by George R. R. Martin, also with Elio M. Garcia Jr. and Linda Antonsen. And this is just the untold histories of Westeros, kind of also behind the looks of the book series. Actually, no, this is more before Game of Thrones, when Game of Thrones start. And just the pictures are so gorgeous as well. Oh, just amazing. I kind of skimmed through it just to look at the pictures. I have not started reading this yet. Just amazing book, and I can't wait to actually start reading them. Okay, and these next few books I just recently bought just a couple weeks ago. The first one I got is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. More of a booktube recommendation. I've seen some people have started reading this, but it's a historical fiction type book, and I really want to get more into historical fictions. It's about an 18-year-old girl arrives in Amsterdam to begin a new life as a wife of illustrious merchant trader Johannes Brandt. But her new home, while splendorous, is not welcoming. Johannes is kind yet distant, always locked in his study or at his warehouse office, leaving Nella alone with his sister, the sharp-tongued and forbidding Maren. But Nella's life changes when Johannes presents her with an extraordinary wedding gift, a cabinet-sized replica of their home. To furnish her gift, Nella engages the services of a miniaturist, an elusive and enigmatic artist whose tiny creations mirror their real-life counterparts in eerie and unexpected ways. I get into, and I really like the cover of this book too. So this is also kind of a cover by book. Next up is a new book called Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I think that's how you say it. And just the cover is just bloody, and I love it. Like, Power is a Dangerous Game. I've read those kind of type of books before. Last but not least is a book I just recently bought yesterday, and it's called CoverGirl. It's called Funny Girl. Why did I say CoverGirl? Funny Girl, by Nick Hornby. This is the author from About a Boy and A Long Way Down. Never read those, but just thought I'd mention it. But I wanted to get this book because it kind of reminded me of the movie by Barbra Streisand, Funny Girl. I love that movie, but this is not what the story is about. But it is about it is about a girl who's in a beauty pageant, I think, but doesn't really want to be in a beauty pageant. She wants to make people laugh. And just that, so I thought it just looks really interesting to read, and I can't wait to read it. So those are the books that I have got for the past 5 months, I forgot. So they were a lot of books, and I can't wait to start reading them all, and I have a huge TBR pile to I gotta stop buying books. That's it. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what books you bought recently, or if you're interested in when I'm talking about the books that I just recently got. Just let me know in the comments down below. Please subscribe, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, okay? See you later.